Hola, me llamo Myelita Melton, and I'm the author of Survival Spanish for Construction. It's one of 14 books in the SpeakEasy Spanish series. At SpeakEasy Spanish, we believe that communication is more important than conjugation, and that what you learn should be directly related to what you do. So you'll use it mucho instead of poquito. For the last 11 years, my staff and I have been working with builders all across the country just like you, helping them work more efficiently and communicate more effectively with Hispanics on their job site. So it's a pleasure to bring you this blueprint for multicultural management.
Jimmy Carter said, "We have become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic." With the exception of the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in the early 1900s, the American workforce is more diverse now than it has been at any time in our nation's history. Latino influence is felt in every corner of our country and even at the dinner table. Did you know that Americans buy more salsa at the grocery store than ketchup? When we discuss people who speak Spanish in the United States, we use the terms Hispanic and Latino, but which one is the most appropriate to use? There is almost as much controversy between people who speak Spanish as among those who don't. The U.S. government coined the term Hispanic prior to the 1980 census. That's the first time people who spoke Spanish were included as a separate category. The word Hispanic was created from the Latin word for Spain, Hispania, and it was defined as people who speak Spanish and trace their family heritage to Spain.
If you're like me, most of the people that I know who speak Spanish trace their families to Latin America, not to Spain, and there's a big difference. So you can see there was a problema with the term Hispanic and its definition right from the beginning.
The term Latino or Latina, on the other hand, refers to Spanish speakers who trace their heritage to 20 Latin American countries. This term is gaining in popularity because it doesn't indicate a person's color or country of origin, and is used exclusively by many Spanish-language newspapers in the U.S.
The terms Hispanic and Latino are often used interchangeably. Even the U.S. government does it, so it's okay for you to use either one. In this short video, you'll hear me use both.
The Hispanic population in the United States is growing rapidly. The current census projections are that there will be over 102 million Latinos in the U.S. by 2050. The growth in the Hispanic population now comes from a higher than average birth rate than it does from undocumented immigration. Hispanics are having a tremendous impact in the construction industry and currently make up almost a third of the labor force. Certain sectors of the industry like roofing, brick masonry, and drywall applications have even larger percentages of Hispanic workers. There are 4 distinctly different generations of Latino workers in the U.S. labor force. There are Latinos who are first generation and were born outside the United States. Next, there's a very distinctive generation that's called the 1.5 generation. These Latinos came to the United States as children or were brought into the country by their parents as infants. They are followed by second generation Latinos who were born in this country and are U.S. citizens. Finally, there is a distinctively different third generation. These are Hispanic children whose Spanish-speaking parents were born in the United States. They are also U.S. citizens. First-generation Latinos were born in Latin America and speak English as their second language. Many are hampered by their inability to speak English fluently. This lack of English proficiency is due primarily because of limited educational opportunities throughout Latin America. First-generation Latinos tend to be traditional and are usually very loyal employees. English can be tough to learn as a second language, especially when you are learning it as an adult. On average, it can take up to 7 years. Why does it take so long? Basically, it's because there are exceptions to every rule in English grammar and pronunciation.
Things like I before E, except after C, and then there's the inconsistency of our vowels. Those 5 letters, A, E, I, O, U, they can make 27 different sounds. That's right. Then how inconsistent is that? A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, And in certain parts of the country, they even throw W into the vowel mix. Well, these are the kinds of things that make non-native speakers just go nuts. When you add in slang and regional accents with the complexities of grammar and pronunciation, it's amazing that anyone ever learns English as a second language at all.
In construction, both language and cultural barriers present challenges for both work efficiency and for safety. Until recently, OSHA estimated that Hispanics on construction job sites suffered triple the number of fatalities as white or black workers. Recently, that statistic has improved slightly. Latinos who make up the 1.5 generation were born in Latin America and were brought across the U.S. border as infants or small children by their parents. Many who were brought here are undocumented. These Latinos have attended public schools in the United States, are usually bilingual, but they may not be completely fluent in English. What's unusual about this generation is that even though they have grown up in America, they may not feel completely comfortable here. And when they go to visit relatives in their country of origin, they may not be comfortable there either. They walk between two distinctly different worlds. Second-generation Latinos are U.S. citizens. They speak both languages with ease and are savvy in both cultures. When they were kids, they often served as their parents' translators. And though they continue to place high values on traditional Latino culture, they are highly influenced by mainstream America. Second-generation Latinos are extremely proud of the Spanish language and their unique heritage. They walk more comfortably in both worlds. Third-generation Latinos are young and thoroughly comfortable in American culture. This acculturation doesn't happen overnight. No matter what country a family comes from, it takes 3 full generations to completely absorb American culture and language. This segment of the Hispanic population is growing fast. 60% of the U.S. Latino population is under 30 years of age. They also prefer speaking English over Spanish. In fact, third-generation Latinos may understand Spanish when they hear it spoken, but they may not be fluent in Spanish at all.